evening, wherever you're watching us from around the world tonight. It's time for another set of six. And today, I am blessed to say Bulla to our friends from Fiji. So I'd like to welcome into the screen Tavita Mao, the president of Fiji Touch, Ms. Rosie Bavon from the vice president west of Touch Federation Fiji, and also Virginia Nalavulu. Welcome, the Secretary of the Touch Federation of Fiji. Thanks for joining us and welcome to a set of six.
Naka.
Excellent. Great to have you on board. It's great to be there in the South Pacific with you guys and talking through touch football in Fiji. The set of six has been an outstanding little fun thing that we've been doing amongst over a dozen now episodes with countries all around the world, and I know that everybody's keen to hear from Fiji. So we'll kick it off. Tavita, I might just ask you a little bit about yourself, mate. Just introduce yourself and let us know about your role over there in the Touch Federation Fiji.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. Tavita Mao, and president of Touch Federation Fiji. We are part of a new team of executives that have just got in 1st of February this year. We were elected into office, and we're quite thankful for what our predecessors have done, led by Mr. Satau. But on the introduction side of things, I sort of got involved in this sport way back while I was doing some studies in Australia. That is way back in 88 to 91. And that's when I got introduced to the sport. Met some guys who have played for Australia. I think Gavin Shuka is someone that comes to the fore in terms of that. We attended uni together from 88 to 91 up in Rockhampton. And then when I got back to Fiji, then I got into the game. And then it got to a stage where I was the president of Touch from 2005 to 2007. And then I had to step out because of my Christian beliefs. And, had to come back again. Well, I was asked the question whether I was interested. And I said, why is it that you guys got to ask me? And then I said, they said, we want you to come if you are keen. And I said, as long as it's okay with you guys, I'm keen. But then there's always a restriction because on a Saturday, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist.
Yep.
And I don't involve myself in terms of the sport. But so when they said that they will continue with that, I said, okay. And then when the outcome of the election came about, we were elected onto the to be the new executives. And so I see this as it's a calling in a way, from the spiritual side of things. And I had the opportunity once, and then my sort of the way I looked at the sport then was different. And now coming back, I look at the sport differently too, because more from spiritual side of things, in terms of how can I be in a position to probably share what I have experienced with God. So it's going to be something that's we'll see how it pans out in time to come. But one thing I'm sure of, that God will always be a beacon of guidance, in whatever that you involved in, and especially with your search of Him being a sort of source of support. So that's it from my side in terms of introduction to the sport of touch and how I have gone out and then coming back again. But I think like all of us who are part of this new executive team, we are all passionate about the game, and that is one thing that even while I was away from the game, that didn't mean that I didn't go and watch the game or didn't play the game. But then I think they thought that probably I could be of assistance in a way to be involved again in terms of the officials, and so I'm here and just keen to lend a hand.
Well, it's great to have you back on board, and I know that the people over there in Fiji would be very happy to have you on board. We might have a quick chat with Rossi as well, just to get some background from you, Rossi. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Uh, yeah, Bulavanaka. My name is Rosie. I started with Touch back in 2004. Um, was able to represent the country in few of the uh, tournaments. And yeah, I'm currently the vice president of Touch Fiji, and I'm based in the West.
Right, very good. So, started in 2004. You must have been a very young girl when you first started.
I'm still young.
That's it. Excellent.
Um,
And Virginia, let's welcome Virginia in as well. Touch Fiji secretary. What's the
Bola,
Virginia
bola.
story?
Well, I'm married with 3 kids. I started touch rugby back in university back in 2010. Was able to participate with uh, Devi Tamau as our coach in the New
Yeah.
South Wales League Championship in Australia
Wow.
back in
Yeah.
2013. Um, Managed to, I guess, joining that early allowed me to represent Fiji back in 2015, where I actually met my husband, who also plays touch. So it's been a journey for me.
Yeah.
I guess my continuous love for touch rugby is where I am today and in the
Yeah.
position that I'm currently undertaking. Just basically to share my experience and build the sport, and hopefully we'll get the opportunities that it presents itself.
Oh, fantastic. And on behalf of the Federation, we thank all of you for getting on board and helping out Touch Fiji. The experience that you guys possess, we'll see Fiji on the rise, I'm sure. There's been some success at tournaments, and yeah, we'll look into that a little bit further as we progress through the interview. So I might bring Tavita back up now. How's the COVID-19 pandemic affected Fiji, like as a country, but also as the touch fraternity?
I think, to be honest, I think we were no exceptions in terms of the impact of COVID-19. But again, I think one thing that COVID-19 sort of taught us was that the ability to think outside the box.
Yeah.
And we saw, even though there was a lot of challenges, we took time to visit our affiliates and have discussions with them, because uh, we were not able to engage because there had to be some protocols that we had to adhere to.
Yeah.
So we had to go around and just share with them, just to be patient, because our affiliates were keen to get back into action, but we couldn't do that until we fulfill the protocols that were set by government. And once we were able to do that, then continue to work with the affiliates in ensuring that those compliance procedures were conveyed down to the respective clubs, and the members that and the spectators.
Yeah.
So when then we needed to look at how we were going to be taking the sport, to the next level in terms of after COVID, what is it that we have planned? So the continuous collaboration with our affiliates was something that has enabled us to move, and make some plans. And already we had to revise our calendar. And I think you will then have a chat with Rosie, because her husband and her, they just sponsored a tournament last week for the western side in Nandi. So Suva has started their season. We had it started on the 12th of this month. Last month.
Mhm.
And so the season has already started on the central side of the island. In the west, they had a tournament, and there's another one that's been planned. And the finals planned for Suva is towards early December. So
Right.
there's also some plans that we've put in place in terms of trying to address these travel restrictions that we have.
Yeah.
So now we are putting in some plans that we will try and revise the way we have our competition. And so we want to step into franchise. And so that is a franchise competition, is whereby we will try and get the cream from our respective affiliates, and then ensuring that that they are playing against each other in a
Yeah.
way to so that we have regular top level competitions for our elite, and as a way to try and mitigate the restrictions of travel that is currently in place.
Yeah.
But once that travel ban opens, there's already discussions. So we're having a cover cup that's having teams from New Zealand and Australia coming across in March next year. So and that has been something that the groundwork for that. That's we are into our third, fourth year of that tournament.
Yeah.
And we want to take time to acknowledge the work that has been done by our predecessors in ensuring that those competitions were available for our TATS community.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've heard some outstanding stories about the Carver Cup, and look forward to one day maybe getting over there myself and experiencing the best that Fiji has to offer.
Yeah, it'd be great if you come around. Yeah.
But okay, so we might look at what methods of Touch Fiji utilise to keep the touch football community engaged. I heard there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes over there, and as you said, it's changed the way we think about how we deliver the sport. Give us a tip on what's been happening.
Yeah, we've been having, and at this juncture, I want to take time to acknowledge the work done by FIT. Secretary General, Mr. Kerr, and also Pete and Ian. With Ian, Director of Referees, we just had a Zoom session early last month. And so we were able to accredit 21 officials, 14 guys, and then 7 female. And the mere fact that we could get that done, using technology, was quite a milestone. We want to take time to acknowledge the work done by FIT in ensuring that that level of engagement and the learning was enabled using technology. So, because previously how we would go about it would be that, we'd have a resource person coming across from the other side, to come and conduct those clinics, and then, then get the officials get accredited after that. But, that's why we said, COVID has taught us, we can do that, even without people coming across to your side of the island.
Yeah.
And so, in keeping ourselves engaged, we've been using that in terms of the executives of TATS, and also with our affiliates. Just sharing with them, and also the basic level of using emails, and then over phones, and even at the executive level, we've done a few Zooms just to try and mitigate the challenge, because there was no movement after a certain time. I think at one time it was starting at 9 o'clock, 10, then at the moment it's sitting at 11, so you couldn't be moving around. So while people were busy, so as soon as you get home, then we'll just converse over the phone that, okay, why don't we have a meeting via Zoom? And so, we are quite thankful that technology has enabled us to, address some of the challenges that we would have thought impossible, probably in the early days.
Yeah, definitely. But as we said, it's made us look outside the box. I think that's the way you put it. And islands like yourself have delivered, and countries around the world have really engaged using different methods, which has been outstanding to keep people involved. It's a sport that people miss. I might bring the girls back in now. And Rossi, what is it about the sport that you've missed during the pandemic shutdown? You're good to go.
Okay. Sir, can you ask the question again?
Yeah, I was just asking, what is it about the sport that you've missed during the shutdown period?
I think it's mostly meeting up with people at the ground, and just visiting one another. I think that's one of the most. That's something that we miss the most. Meeting up with people.
And
Yes.
Tavita mentioned there that you sponsored a tournament on the weekend. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah. One of our main. It was really good. Went really well. One of the main purpose behind the um, organizing the, I mean, sponsoring the event was just to generate the interest, considering after COVID-19 restrictions and how it has affected our Nandi community. With the games now on YouTube, it sure attracted and a lot of viewers and as well as the interest as intended. So
Yeah.
we were really happy to be part of the event.
No, that's awesome. And I'm sure everybody enjoyed participating. And without people like yourself getting those tournaments up and running, we'd still be sitting back waiting. So, yeah, fantastic initiative there from you, Rossi, and on behalf of all the people that took part. I guess it's thanks for bringing touch back to the islands and getting people out there again. So, Virginia, I might ask you now, if I can, where is touch played in Fiji? How many players do you have, and is there any particular growth markets you might be targeting?
Main island with the level.
Yeah.
We have our West affiliate who hosts the tournaments on the west side of the level. At present, we have the market. The market to target is our Vanua level side, which is the other side of Fiji. And also targeting a small, well, basically our youth sector of Fiji, trying to pull in high school students, teenagers, and develop the sport at the young age. Especially just watching through Australia's development at an early age. It has really definitely contributed to what the ranking of the Australian team is at present. If I may give an example. So I guess for us is basically trying to develop our youth and our Vanua level sector. So far we have just 2 associations, but we're hoping to open one with our Nasinu affiliates, which is the Nasinu Touch Association. Also trying to open another in Lotoka, which is to contribute to the Nandi Association. So far we joining forces with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and also the Sports Commission Fiji, who are assisting us in this goal that we're trying to develop touch as a whole in Fiji.
Fantastic. So it sounds like you've got a bit of a driving force happening there, and looking to share the love and get other people on board. So that's fantastic. We've had a comment come in. I'll just see if I can get that comment up here. So Labib Levy, one of our friends over there in South Africa, has asked, is there any integration between you guys and the Sevens crew or other sports over there?
At present, we've only managed to associate ourselves with the National Rugby League.
Right.
With other sports, especially sevens, here in Fiji, basically rugby is the go-to sports. So touch is seen as a minor sport. So hopefully one day we can join forces and integrate with the sevens team and drive our force and motivate basically or develop the sport from there. But at present, no, there's no interaction.
No real interaction. It's something that countries like South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji that are involved in the international sevens program. The Australian girls team were predominantly poached or stolen from a touch football background. That team that won the gold medal over there in Brazil. But it's about demonstrating to those sports.
That was actually good to hear.
Yeah. but it's about touch demonstrating to those sports that we're complementary. We're not trying to take players away from them, but it's about what we can contribute to that sport. And I think the gold medal girls from Australia, and to a lesser extent, also to New Zealand, the number of players that progress through the ranks.
Exactly.
Rugby is starting to realise that we're not competing against them, we're actually contributing. And the NRL here in Australia, the rugby league, number of rugby league players that are coming from the touch football ranks, it's part of your promotion to those other sports that we can supply you. If you just let the players play, we can supply you with the goods. Is that something that you'd think would cross over in Fiji in that space?
I definitely support you. Yeah, in complementary. Yeah, exactly. We had actually one of a previous that actually went up the ranks. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, that
It's always
actually
good.
one of the players who began with touch rugby is now playing rugby at the national level, 15s. And just during one of the interviews that he had in one of the local television stations, he was promoting touch rugby and actually commenting on how complementary it is in terms of basic skill level and in terms of just basic development. Yeah. So that was a good booster for us, especially for small fraternity.
Absolutely. It's always good to sit back and watch them and say, you know, I know where he came from and where she came from in a lot of experiences. So that's fantastic. So I'll put this one out there to everybody. You may have attended, you may not have. I'm not aware, but the 2019 World Cup was an amazing experience for everybody that went over there. Can you give us some insight into Touch Fiji's experience and what the teams and the officials took away from the event? Who'd like to answer that one?
Yeah, I think Rosie was part of the team that went and participated.
Awesome.
Received one.
So, what was your experience like there, Rossi? Just need to get you to go off mute again. There we go. That should be good now.
I think it was really good for us, for the Fiji team. We just to be there and experience the whole Touch family being together at one place. It's really a good boost for Fiji. And I think we were fortunate enough as a team during our preparation. We had some sponsors coming in and just to help the team. And just the whole experience in Malaysia was good. And it's good to just get out of the country and visit another new country, and we get to make new friends as players and officials as well.
And we've had another comment come in from Simon, who says one of his best memories from the World Cup in Malaysia was being behind Fiji in the tunnel under the main stand, waiting to walk in for the opening ceremony. The singing from Fiji was uplifting and so spirited. Such a harmonious and joyous display. And from somebody that was there, I know exactly what Simon was talking about. Just I was up in the stands and I was announcing the teams as they come out, and we knew when Fiji was towards the front because it was just beautiful. And it is an amazing thing at any sporting event that Fiji come to. And Tavita touched on the spiritual side of it. That was really born from Fiji's participation over there at the World Cup. You talked about, Rossi, making friends. Is that an important factor of the game of touch football for you?
Yes, that's one of the main. We get to meet new people and share ideas, and going out to the World Cup and meeting other players from other countries, and especially those whom you only watch on YouTube. I think it was a great boost for us, and yeah, it's just fun to be around everyone. And I mean, even for us, one of the experience we came through was, other teams, they got to share fruits and, share whatever leftovers they have. They share it with us, the Fijian team, and it was
Yeah.
really great. Yeah.
It was certainly great to have you on board over there. And I know the people in Australia love playing against the Fijians and just celebrating the game with you guys. So outstanding. So, Tavita, most of the guest nations so far have touched on the importance of exposure to quality touch football in order to develop their teams. What are the plans? You guys mentioned the Carver Cup. Have you got any other plans for being involved in things like the Pacific Championships, or traveling abroad once the travel restrictions are lifted?
Yeah. Well, I think to be honest, the Pacific Cup concept is something that needs to be revived. And in saying that, I think Ronda Tangipiao, would be somebody who would be very key, in the reviving of this particular tournament, which is basically bringing the Pacific Island nations, apart from the Pacific games, whereby we come every 4 years, in the interim, them just coming together to come and compete, and at least test their skills out with one another. So the reviving of it, because the last I know was that we attended the 2005 that was held in Samoa.
Yep.
And I think what transpired out of that, Fiji made basically winning all the medals that were on offer from men's open, mixed women's, and also the 30s. And if tend to be corrected in sharing this, like that was the last time I knew of the that time it was referred to as the spin tournament.
Yep.
And it'll be good to get that revived again, at least just to get the opportunity, to play touch at that level. Right?
Yeah.
And so in saying that, also there's some preliminary talk that we are having with Queensland Touch, led by discussions with Gavin Shuka, who's currently the chairman of Queensland Touch.
Yeah.
And so there's some discussion and some plans being put in place whereby if he could be of assistance and send his team across in December. And just for the information of this discussion, Gavin is he's rendered his service to assist Fiji, going forward. And so in a way, we've appointed him to be our coaching director, whereby he'll sort of set the pathway in terms of how we will develop our coaches, and also in developing the way we would want to take our game forward. I hope I'm not misinterpreted in saying this. Fiji, to be honest, we wanna, at this point in time, Papua New Guinea is the top nation in the Pacific, followed by Samoa. Come 2023, we wanna see some changes in that pecking order, and it's an order that we feel that is worth scaling, and something that given like we've done that before, and like we've fallen down, but like now we need to reshape ourselves and put in place our plans in terms of how we want to go back to that at the top of the mountain come the Pacific Games 2023. So in saying that, we are looking at also revising the way we coordinate our local competition, whereby we step up and set a franchise competition where we get our best pitting themselves against each other. And I think I've touched on that a bit early. And when we got to expose them, because that is just a way to address the traveling restrictions that is in place for now. And so one of the beauty about hosting of tournaments, it sort of addresses many fronts on our side. Apart from getting players from the other side coming across and playing with our best talent, it is also the opportunity whereby we take the time to expose our referees. And also that is a pathway whereby we can test our coaches, whereby
definitely.
they can where they get to showcase how they can blend and build teams. So, and I think one of the key aspect when we host tournaments, the ability to raise, necessary revenue for an association like ours, because we, like most other touch nations, are always having challenges to when we have to attend international meets, because it's the amount involved, it's something that needs prior planning, and a lot of organizing. And so
Definitely.
having hosting tournaments, we are addressing our player side, addressing our referees, our officials, and also, the opportunity to raise necessary revenue that will be handy, when we get to come to international meeting years.
Definitely. And Gavin Shuki, you've mentioned there a few times now. He's a great man to have on board. Somebody with a wealth of experience in the sport, but also how he contributes both on and off the field. An outstanding resource for you guys to tap into. So outside, sorry, I was just going to say, outside of Gavin, how can everyone else help Touch Fiji?
I think one thing that New Zealand, in a way, from the work done by our predecessors, they've done that Kawa Cup, and also prior to this COVID, there were some plans in terms of them sending coaching and some refereeing, technical guys to come and carry out sessions here with us, and then sort of COVID basically just culled it off. But other nations, one way that they can assist us, just sharing the experiences of what they are doing, or what are they having, in the areas. So because I've got a story to share. It's a story about a club here, and using touch as a platform on which they they are getting their young kids together. They're playing the game. Some of them have been able to move on to national honors, and apart from that, what they have done is that the sport of touch has enabled them to go outside their circle and bring their friends. But my point of interest is that this team here, Tahi, who's based here in Suva, they are sort of practicing something that it's a way that resonates with what Touch Fiji would like to do, which is beyond the game. Sure enough, we love the game. We want to come and play the game. But the sport of touch is a platform whereby you can use to inculcate values and share disciplines. So for this particular club, what they do is that they'd bring them, they'll train, and then they would, the parents would go out of their way in terms of carrying out tutorial classes for these kids, which include, kids from outside the circle of families. And and one thing that has really touched me was, they got a kid that probably, is part of the marginalized side of society, and so, he loves the sport of touch to the core, in a way that, the kids who are good are often being reminded, you got to get him involved, and you guys just have to work extra hard to try and cover him for his shortfall. In a way, to me, that using the sport of touch to see life, as a way that you learn, and these guys, in a way, has really, is really taken that on board. And that's why I'm saying, you asking me the question, how can other nations share, help Fiji out, for that's Fiji's story, and how the sport of touch has been used to instill values, develop, these are the future leaders, and the sport of touch has been used in a way to try and enhance, their ability and sort of just broaden their perspective of life. And by the time these guys step out and be leaders of families and leaders of organizations or communities or wherever they head into, the sport of touch has in a way, been incremental in providing that sort of enhancement.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for sharing that. It's a great story, and I think it's been reflected right around the world through touch. I know over in South Africa, very similar stories are told as well, and here in Australia with a lot of the people that come from different backgrounds. And that's one thing about our sport, that you can play it at all ages, all abilities. It doesn't matter, male, female, young or old, you can play the game of touch football, and that's what's brilliant about our sport. Mariah Fanal there has made a comment, touch footy has contributed so much for us in Fiji, and just stories like that, Tavita, really bring that home, I think, for everybody that's involved. So, yeah, great story, and thanks for sharing.
Yeah, and I think,
I might get
Adam,
yeah.
just one thing, Adam, and it was funny in one of, in conducting that interview with those, with that team, it was funny that, while having a chat with the elders, and then one of the mothers just said, guys, if you want the family to come across, is get the kids involved, and then, the mothers will just have to follow, they have no choice but to follow their kids to the ground.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think Virginia's on the right track there, talking about getting the youth involved. So we might bring Virginia back in. I'll just have I heard there's something that Touch Federation Fiji are putting out an EOI that you might be able to give us a bit of an idea about.
Yes. Currently, the new structure that we are trying to implement and to assist us in achieving the federation's strategic goals is through this extension of interest. This is for the subcommittees that we are hoping to bring on board in order to assist us in achieving our objectives. So the expression of interest is basically seeking out interests for those who'd like to join 3 of these basic committees, which is tournament and events, marketing and promotion, and finance and legal committees. Because so far with Touch Federation, we basically if not all, majority are full working time individuals who hold office, who currently sit at this office bearers. So in initiating this new inclusion in the structure, we hope to bring more people on board in actually building and achieving the whole the objective, which is to develop sport and hopefully bring more opportunities compared to what we've faced in the past. The obstacles that we faced in the past. Hopefully we can bring more assistance and sponsorship avenues into this sport.
So opening the door to skills and experience.
Yes, exactly. Definitely aside touch, we'd have a new look into how we can better assist or grow the sport in terms of other people's expertise and skills.
Well, it sounds like you're doing an outstanding job, and I know there's some work going on behind the scenes in the governance area as well that Tavita might be able to fill us in about. So, Tavita, what's going on there in relation to the governance of Touch Federation Fiji?
Sorry. Yeah, I think one of the key things that we want to take time, and we need to take time to acknowledge our outgoing executives in terms of the establishment of a constitution. And at this juncture, also I want to take time to acknowledge our treasurer, Mr. Tevita Lomalangi. He has been able to deliver the first audited accounts for Touch Federation Fiji. And had it not been for his persistence, and we wouldn't have been able to cross that bridge. He able to do that, and then we were able to table our submission to government. what government then responded was, they've been able to fund the engagement of a development officer for TATS. That in itself is huge. That's the first for TATS Federation Fiji, and that work is going to be very critical for us as we try and increase our footprints, across across Fiji. And so, in saying that, there's been some preliminary deliberations also been done at this point in time with Fiji National Rugby League. Knowing that TATS is a spin-off rugby league. So rugby league's presence is already in the schools, and these preliminary discussions, we would want to piggyback on what they have already established to ensure that we get into enter into the school system. So that has been that is something that we will work towards until it comes into fruition. But coming back to governance, there's work that we are doing in terms of engaging. You heard Virginia sharing about expression of interest, and then we just had a discussion with one of the reputable lawyers, and he's already prepared to lend us a hand in terms of harnessing, that in terms of some of the things that we want to add on to the constitution, because what will then transpire is that the affiliates will have to align themselves accordingly, and so does the club that fall down from there.
Yeah. Awesome. It sounds like you guys are doing a great job. We've actually had a comment come in from Charles Cleary, who's just said, thank you to Vita and team for taking touch forward during these trying times. So it sounds like you're doing a great job over there. And to have the support of the people is exactly what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, and I need to take time to acknowledge this guy who's just made that comment, because he was part of the outgoing executive, Charles Cleary, also a former national rep. We attended the World Cup together in South Africa in 2007. He just got back from Kiribati, but he was the, I think, vice president of the outgoing executives. And there's a lot of work they have done, and we are just piggybacking off what they've done. And then just trying to value add on to some of the other things that we're doing.
Yeah, it's about building on the backs of the people that went before you, and that sounds like and we've seen the results with Fiji and the establishment of the Carver Cup and the tournaments that preceded it. You're only going forward. So the work of Charles and the group that went before you, we thank everybody for that as well. We've also had a comment come in from Tibble, asking if you guys can promote Pacific touch competitions in New Caledonia. A lot of rugby there, and we try to promote touch there, but the 15s Federation obstruct their actions. So a call to arms from your fellow island nations.
Yeah, I think we are, as Pacific Brothers, it's something that we need to look into, because for us, I think for all of us who play the game of touch, it's something that we just love, and hearing, like for me, that's a call for help. Probably liaising with Rhonda and seeing what work that we can do to to help our brothers and sisters in New Caledonia who are keen to take on the game.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what it's all about. It's about sharing the sport and sharing the experiences that we've all had. And the thing about the game, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Somebody's done it before you, and by sharing the experiences, we can help the game go around the world. And that sounds exactly what you guys are trying to do. I'm going to ask Rossi to come back in. Rossi, I'd just like to get some insight in what's your favorite memory from the game of touch football? Remember to take yourself off mute. There you go.
I think just stay fit. If that makes you, be careful of your health and staying fit.
Yeah.
And just learning the game. And I think one of my main because I play most of the mixed game.
Mhm.
I like to compete with the guys. So that's kind of my motivation to stay fit and
and,
play.
and what's your special skill in the game? Are you a try scorer, the long ball thrower, a great defender? What is it that makes Rossi a great touch player?
I think maybe Master Tech can answer that. I think probably for myself because I think I have the speed. Sometimes I
Yeah.
could use the speed, and I think it's my dumping skill. Sometimes it works.
So the speed of the game,
Um,
getting the momentum.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But
And one
scoring
of the
tries
best
at
smiles
times.
in the game. There it is. Beautiful. Look at it. Lights up the screen. Thanks, Rossi. Virginia, let's have a
Yeah.
chat with you as well. What's your best memory from the game? You talked about playing in New South Wales all those years ago. Is that a memory that you've carried with you
Yes.
through the game?
Um, definitely, definitely. The experiences from there was very eye-opening. Watching all those advanced clubs, I was actually amazed at the amount of clubs that we were playing against, and
Yeah.
the ground, the ground atmosphere was just too awesome. And being at that young age, uh, we got to meet the team from West Tigers, I believe, if I can recall
Right.
correctly.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie that was established there, seeing that we had faced some financial difficulties actually reaching the state championships. They were so open to us, and they allowed us to actually camp with them
Right.
at their team camp. But in
Yeah.
terms of touch, I guess it's the network you build, and the atmosphere alone is just something that was really memorable. So
Keeps
I
us coming
guess,
back, doesn't it?
yeah, it does.
And like I said to Rossi, what's your particular skill? What is it about Virginia that sets you apart on the touch field?
For me, it's a little bit of dumping and probably the passing skill, but I would bet my money on my defense. That's one thing I
Nice.
love to do. Out of the best is the defense.
Yeah. So get yourself dirty, diving around, some solid touches.
Yeah, best part of it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, there you
Especially
go.
if I'm competing against the guy.
We always lift when it's against the guys. I like it. So common thread there between yourself and Rossi as well. They love taking on the guys. We might bring everybody back in and wrap up this set of six all the way from beautiful Fiji. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been outstanding to have a chat with you here this afternoon. Lots of engagement from our viewers, and we thank everybody for participating that has asked us questions. But I guess one last pitch from the beautiful islands there in Fiji. When travel restrictions are lifted, what are you going to deliver for us? Is it open slather teams that want to travel and make touch a part of their holiday? They can come over, bring a team over, and maybe have a run against some Fijian teams. Is that something that you guys are open for? We can see lots of nods of the heads.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Virginia saying yes, bring it
Yes.
on. And I'll just close out the show here, Davida, with a chat
Bring
from
it
somebody
on.
you might
I'm
recognise.
prepared and I'm excited for it.
Yeah. There he is, the great man, Gavin Shuker. Great chat. So Gavin's been plugging away in the background. He's just the quiet achiever sitting back listening to everything that Fiji's had to chat about today. He's a good man. I'll go. But no, thanks very much. Lots of chats coming through there. Samuela there. She's also just made a comment about how good looking Rossi and Virginia are. And Rossi is a very amazing diver. You didn't give that one away, Rossi. one of the first to initiate the diving culture within the female circles in touch. So, well done. Great skills bring it. But you guys have been fantastic. We look forward to seeing the future for Touch Federation Fiji with people like Gavin and yourselves on board. We can only see an improvement. And one thing we like about the set of 6, we like a challenge. And Tavita, you threw it down there. You put it out to Papua New Guinea that Fiji are coming for you. So we look forward to that. We look forward to that battle on the touch field as well. So
yeah.
Thanks very much to all of you, and we look forward to catching up with you around the grounds once again when the travel restrictions are lifted. So thank you. God bless, and hopefully we will catch up with each other around the traps. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of another set of 6. I thank you very much. Can't believe it. We've got a double episode tonight. We are talking to Italia a little bit later on. So join us as we say g'day to Italy at 8 p.m. Australian time in around about an hour and a half's time. So thanks very much to our friends from Fiji. And that's another set of 6. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.